We're going to every Pokemon location in real life.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Ben.
And we've been Pokemon nerds since the ripe age of 10, so we're gonna show you the Kanto region of the Pokemon Red and Blue games, which is based on the real Kanto region surrounding Tokyo, Japan. Pokemon may not be real, and you know what? That may be for the best. But the towns are, and today we're gonna visit them all.
Welcome to the Kanto region, where your Pokemon adventure begins. Back in my day, they only had one gender, red. But according to HR, now I'm supposed to let you choose.
The journey begins in Pallet Town, or Masada Town in Japanese, meaning something like blank slate.
And in real life, it's about an hour outside of Tokyo in a town called Machida.
Pallet Town was based on the hometown of Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon. In the games, it's a peaceful, quiet town with not too much connection to the outside world. It seems like Tajiri wanted to make a game that reminded him of the more relaxed parts of his childhood. Now, this game was released nearly 30 years ago, so urban development, finds a way.
However, paying homage to the creator of Pokemon, Machida does actually have the largest number of Pokemon manhole covers in all of Japan, with a total of 6 in Serigaya Park.
This is the biggest park in Machida, and it's easy to imagine him as a child going around and catching bugs that would go on to inspire a series loved by millions, including us.
Now normally, this is where we'd move on to Route 1, but there are over 20 routes and this project is already pretty expensive.
Please like and subscribe so we can afford more Ultra Balls. Catching Mewtwo is a nightmare. And in order to afford all those Ultra Balls, we partnered up with Celie, the sponsor of this video.
We're on the go a lot, so we often used to find ourselves having to change out SIM cards at airports or hop from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi. So nowadays, we exclusively use eSIMs while traveling, which are basically a digital version of a SIM card.
We like that Celie is so convenient, like it takes a single tap and you're online in whatever country you're in, which is very, very important because Megan spends an exorbitant amount of time watching Pokemon speedruns.
So if you're planning a trip, you can get an exclusive 15% discount on Celie data plans using our link and code MeganBen. So please click the link in our bio to not only support us, but also get a great deal and save some time and hassle while you're traveling. So we're only going to the locations that best represent the region. Basically, we don't want to go to Diglett's Hole, so have this Diglett's Hole instead.
Oh my god.
He's naked.
This is Viridian City, known for being, well, green, and also for being the home of Giovanni, who, spoiler alert, happens to be the big bad of the game. Now, in the Japanese version of Red and Blue, there's actually a drunk old man that blocks your path from going to the next town as like a convenient plot device, but that was censored in the American version. Now, you're honestly more likely to find that in Kabukicho in Tokyo than you are way out here in the countryside.
Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, there doesn't seem to be that kind of debauchery in Mishima City, though I don't know the politics of the Yakuza around here, so I could be wrong. Now, here's the thing you should know before we go any further. The creators of Pokemon took some creative liberties with this region, meaning that even though the map matches the actual map of the Kanto region in real life, it's not exactly one-to-one.
So we consulted with our chronically online Japanese culture expert and friend, Miki. He helped us gather information about the real locations by scouring various wiki pages and forum posts, only to find out that they played it pretty fast and loose with their interpretations of these towns. They often combined multiple locations into one, or simply just didn't even follow the real map of Kanto, in favor of honoring some of the creators' hometowns or just including certain landmarks.
See, some of you guys are probably like, Megan and Ben, I'll believe you about anything you say about these Pokemon towns. In fact, I'll follow you to the end of the earth. And some of you are already gripping your keyboards, ready to fire off your, well, actuallys, okay? Don't burn us at the stake. It's fine. It's a Pokemon game. It's not that serious.
It's a video game.
It's a video game.
It's not real life.
People are dying, Kim. Okay, so we're in Mishima City Park, which lines up with Viridian Forest given all the bugs and its proximity with the real-life version of Viridian City. We don't really know where Viridian Forest is for a fact. We do know that Pokemon's main creator was a big fan of bugs, big bug guy. In fact, his experience catching bugs as a kid was probably what inspired the concept of Pokemon, and also probably why one of the first areas was full of bug types. But then riddle me piss, why does the bug type suck so bad? Why did Papa Pokemon forsake the bug type? The world may never know. Viridian Forest could also be any of the forests surrounding Mount Fuji, just based on location. But no matter where it was, it almost certainly took inspiration from one of the forests that Father Pokémon ran around catching bugs in as a kid.
Ah, Pewter City, the first gym location and the spot where Brock's Onyx handed your ass to you.
It seems like Pewter City is spectacularly unspectacular, given that its name in Japanese translates literally to dull city. However, museum. Which is why we're here at the Takao 599 Museum to highlight one of the main features of Pewter City, the Museum of Science. So we picked this location for two reasons. First of all, it lines up with all of our other picks. It's a museum and it really fits the vibe for Pewter City. And second of all, we didn't really want to go to Gunma to find the actual geographical coordinates of the original location. And that place didn't even really fit the vibe that much either. So we figured this is the best fit.
The museum is great. It's an easy day trip from Tokyo, and you can get a spectacular view of the mountains, which kind of tuck the town away into the valley, just like Pewter City in the game. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology to turn some amber into a sick Aerodactyl. This is normally where we'd beg Mr. Beast for the funding to create such technology. However, in light of recent legal proceedings, we've learned it's best to never reference another YouTuber ever. Anyway, on to Cerulean City.
Alright, so Cerulean City is where Misty resides as a gym leader, and the real-life equivalent is Utsunomiya, which is a mid-sized town remarkable not for its connection to a certain mermaid gym leader, but for its gyoza. Like we said, the devs were fast and loose with their inspiration. Perhaps, though, the river in the game is a reference to the river running through Utsunomiya, though I don't think you'll find any Staryu here.
Would I even be a redhead if I didn't dress up as Misty for Cerulean City?
What are you looking at? I wanted to feel included.
Pikachu with the leg hair. Classic. Mega evolution.
Hairchew.
Hairchew. I choose you. Pikachu, do a flip. Pikachu miss. Pikachu, do a flip.
Pika Pika.
Pika Pika, your buttons came undone. Pikachu with the indecent exposure. You know, this park in Utsunomiya is kind of like killing the Pokemon vibe because it's got like a soundtrack that plays around the entire park. And the music is like better than some of the Pokemon games.
Whoa, sacrilegious.
They gotta hire these people. Who's doing the soundtrack for this park?
The Church of Pokemon is gonna come after
Church
you.
of Pokemon.
People are gonna be pissed.
I'm just telling it like it is. Unironically, like better Pokemon music than some of the later generations.
DJ, spin that. But if you're looking for something truly legendary, then Oya Mine has to be the real-life equivalent for Cerulean Cave. And this one truly looks the part of the stomping grounds of the legendary Pokemon, Mewtwo.
Let me just take over for a second, because I have something to say about Mewtwo. The Pokemon should have never talked, and let me tell you why. I was in a playwriting competition when I was in high school, and I just narrowly lost to a play that plagiarized Mewtwo's speech at the ending of the Pokemon movie.
A human sacrificed himself to save the Pokémon. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
So Nick, if you're watching this...
Stop hiding! You hiding forever! Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky! Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky!
Okay. Well, this was a favorite spot because it actually felt like you're really wandering around in the games, looking for new areas and items and trying to find a legendary Pokemon.
I feel like I'm in a Pokemon game. I feel like a Zubat's gonna attack me at any minute.
In reality, it's a former rock quarry where they used to source volcanic stone for buildings around Japan during the Edo period. We assume there are a ton of ice-type Pokemon down here because it stays like 10 degrees Celsius in the cave.
How did that feel? You feel powerful?
Where's my Mewtwo?
There he is.
That's gotta be where he is.
That's gotta be where he is. Let's get down there and catch him. That rat bastard's gonna be mine. I know he's a level 70. I can take him with my bare hands.
And you know that humanoid Pokemon like Mewtwo are usually pretty problematic.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
But don't pretend like Gardevoir didn't have an irreversible effect on you growing up. Ah, good to see you again, kid. Please select your nationality. Look, kid, it's another question HR is forcing me to ask. I could give less of a shit.
We've made it to Vermilion City, home of the very first canon American in a Pokemon game, as well as the Pokemon World Championships in 2023, which is conveniently how we can be sure that it's based on Yokohama, as they use Vermilion City in their promotional materials for the event.
If you're inspired by this video to go on your own Pokemon pilgrimage, this is a location we find rather worthy of a visit. After all, they have things like boat.
Besides that, Yokohama is a popular day trip only an hour away from Tokyo that boasts less busy streets and a sort of retro vibe that's just like 1980s Japan. Probably. I wasn't born yet, so I mean, I have no idea. Let us know in the comments if you were born. Just like in general.
The SSN does get some pretty clear representation in the real-life equivalent of this town.
Boat, 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 boat. We love boats.
Boat.
Boat. Boat. Boat. Boat. Why are you facing me? You're not facing the boat. Boat.
They even have the construction site from the game. Wow. Such accuracy.
And the Americanness of this city's gym leader is also pretty on the nose, as just about 30 minutes away is one of America's naval bases, Yokosuka, more commonly known as the inspiration for the flawlessly voice-acted game, Shenmue.
What? Where are you from? You're not from Guilin, are you?
To be honest with you, we got kind of sidetracked in this town because of all the stuff there is to do, and we ran into none other than Aki Dearest, who showed us around Yokohama's Pokemon spots.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
This wasn't on anyone's bingo card for this collaboration, but hi, we are affiliated with each other. Hello.
A rare Aki Dearest.
Yeah. Wait, which one did you start off with?
I think when I played Fire Red, I chose Charmander.
Charmander, yeah. I mean, I really liked Bulbasaur.
I think now that I'm an adult, I've realized Bulbasaur might be the best option.
Yeah. I just got Pikachu from inside the glass case. So,
Ooh.
yeah. Everything in the glass is like the limited stuff, so I wanted
Ooh.
I was like so enamored looking in here, like I bashed my head into the glass, and it was in front of like a family on my left, and I was just like, bro, Scorbungus.
Scorbungus.
I don't let himself go, but
Chungus reference
and when
in
you
2020.
give him like too much like rare candies, but you still won't evolve them. You just want to level 9.
He's been hitting the poffins too hard, you know.
Level 99 Bungus. Put you there.
Amazing.
Lapras is the best Gen 1 Pokemon.
But remember, we're on a mission to see every Pokemon location, so no fun is allowed. See you later, Aki. We've got to head to the spookiest town in all of Pokemon.
Welcome to the...
You know her, you love her, you were terrified by her looking up creepypastas about her as a child. Welcome to Lavender Town. Luckily, Ushku City, unlike Lavender Town, has no devious town theme with chords so sinister they cause the local population to,
Oh my god! Oh jeez! Oh my god!
The location's theme music had extremely high frequencies that studies have shown only children and young teens can hear because their ears are more sensitive. Due to this effect, at least 200 children supposedly took their own lives, and many more developed conditions and afflictions. Also, this entire thing is made up and there's no evidence for it.
Now, if you don't have time to watch a 3-hour-long creepypasta iceberg video, then let me clarify that Lavender Town was a fairly surface-level entrance to the world of 2010 spooky stories. However, looking at Ushku City, you'd probably never guess that this location inspired such a dreary and haunted town. That is, unless you're triggered by urban sprawl. And I mean I am. But where did this reputation come from? The Pokemon Tower, of course.
This stop is a deeply religious site and not just inspiration for a video game, so if you decide to come here, then behave yourselves, or at least take it as seriously as it takes itself.
The Ushku Daibutsu seems to be the strongest inspiration for Pokemon Tower in the games, as well as just the haunted nature of Lavender Town in general. At 120 meters tall, it towers over the Statue of Liberty, and it is the largest bronze statue in the world.
However, instead of graves for ghost-type Pokemon to hide behind, this statue has a rather stunning memorial, drawing in tourists from across Japan at the top. Sorry to disappoint, no missing no Hypno's lullaby, just a lot of very real graves and a big old Buddha if you dare venture out to this town.
Time for the big city Celadon, also known as Tamanu Town. Now, to tell the truth, this might be actually the most shocking location to me personally, because I would figure it'd be Shinjuku or Shibuya with all their big city amenities and department stores, but it's not. Based on Papa Pokemon's childhood, it's most likely to be Tamanu Town. See, if Machida is Pallet Town, then this is the big city that people would go to for their big city needs. You know, like Soapland. Actually, I don't know if they have one of those here. Don't Google it. It's not worth it.
At least that's what we think based on Japanese forum posts. Now, the Game Freak office is in Celadon City in the game, so we took a brief pit stop at the real original studio in Shimokitazawa.
Also in Celadon City is Game Freak Studios, where you have a chance to talk to the creators of the game in the game. See, this is a fun Easter egg that's present in almost every Pokemon game, but unfortunately, despite the fact that this was the birthplace of Pokemon, it's now just a gym with very little trace of what its past used to be. There was nothing there, which is too bad because somebody on Twitter managed to find like the doors of the original Game Freak studio, and they had like a nice little piece of art on them, but from what we could see, nothing there. Yeah, guys, you don't need to come here. If you're a big Pokemon fan, there are better spots. This is like a purely residential building at this point, so take your business elsewhere.
Now back to Celadon.
So the location of the game center and the department store in the game may actually be a reference to Tamanu Town's Parthenon Avenue, which has all these kind of taller buildings, and there's a couple game shops that hopefully we'll hit later. But yeah, this is kind of like a mix of that greenery and city vibe that the game seemed to showcase.
Especially Erica's gym as a big concrete structure housing a park. I must say, later generations gym leaders were a bit more inspired with their gym layouts.
So to make up for the fact that I literally lost tens of thousands of Pokédollars as a child in the game corner, I'm here to make it all back, and I'm not gonna leave until I win something, so let's go.
Little did we know that this would send us on a nightmarish gambling adventure, digging us into mountains of plushy flavored debt.
There we go. All right, clients. Do this. All right, Megan, you're gonna get your guest part, and Lisa.
Sure am. I've learned a lot of techniques recently.
Okay, show us what you got.
Oh,
close.
It drops it after like 3 seconds.
I got it.
He got it.
I got Lisa or Gaspard, I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
This is our last coin.
It's so far away from payout too. It's not fair because it has this like guardrail.
Why are we still here?
I feel incredible, even though we just got like $35. I am personally flabbergasted, and I am elated, and I am incredibly happy that we have won a couple items. We got 3 things. We only tried 3 times. We only tried 3 times.
Don't talk about it.
So here's what we got.
For the record, I won.
She won the Chansey. Amazing. She did incredible. I was so proud of her. She was just in the zone. I looked over and she's like, I won. I was like, what? Amazing. She said she had no depth perception, and that's just a lie.
No depth perception.
Amazing.
But not as good as Ben won this new coin purse the first go round.
I did win it on the first try. I was very happy with that.
And we spent way too much
And we got
on these two little dogs.
we got Gaspard and Lisa.
And I got
Oh yeah, you got your little
banana cat.
Banana cat.
Crying banana
A
cat.
banana cat and
And there's
Whooper.
more. Whooper! Of
Or
course, we
sorry,
already showed
Quagsire,
Quagsire.
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 Oh, we love him.
Yeah.
Very adorable.
That's pretty impressive.
We're happy. We're
We spent
happy.
a lot, though.
It's time to go to a new town. Let's go.
Okay, enough of that. Glad you feel good about your addiction. Time to move on to our next city.
All right, here we are back in Tokyo, our jumping off point for this entire project, and a fan favorite, Saffron City.
Also our favorite because it doesn't require a 2-hour train ride outside of the city where locals stare at me like they've never seen a redhead before, which honestly they probably never have, so fair enough. Saffron City was pretty clearly based on the dead center of Tokyo due to one incredibly identifiable landmark, the magnet train, otherwise known as Shinkansen or bullet train.
The fighting dojo is of particular note because of the baddie Sabrina residing over this gym. That's all I got. She's a snack, and Psychic type used to be OP back in the day, so Sabrina was the OG mommy Pokemon trainer. Sorry, Cynthia, respectfully.
Fuchsia City is, wait, where are we?
Kimitsu is where we are.
Yeah, sure, that'll work. Kimitsu.
We're kind of out in the middle here. So yeah, we're actually in Chiba Peninsula, which is where Fuchsia City would be in the games. There wasn't like a one-to-one perfect location for this one, but this was the best we could do in our research.
And honestly, this is the location I think we've been dreading the most to get out to. It's definitely not a super feasible Tokyo day trip kind of location. But let's see, because the major pull of this city is the Safari Zone, which is real life Mother Farm. So we're gonna have another little trip there, and maybe we'll see some Pokemon to make us feel better about this 2.5-hour trek.
Certainly hope so.
There's an ancient tale from the before times. In the year of our Lord, 2014, Twitch held its first ever group playthrough of Pokemon Red, entitled Twitch Plays Pokemon. And with over 1 million people watching, Twitch managed to bring Red's Charmander named K to the Safari Zone, where history was made as players avoided the final game-breaking softlock. See, the players needed 500 Pokédollars to enter the Safari Zone, which is a requirement to get the move Surf. This is important because Surf is mandatory to continue in the playthrough and complete the game, and the Twitch players were almost flat broke at this point. If they accidentally used any more money, the game was over. But somehow, they managed to overcome the anarchy of Twitch chat and complete the section unscathed.
I love democracy. Anyway, fate would have it that the real-life equivalent of this historic location is known as Mother Farm.
So yeah, this is a fairly old farm in Chiba that has a fair amount of biodiversity. You got sheep, pig, duck, alpaca, capybara. Are you coming with me? Capybara. All sorts of Pokemon. Just don't throw rocks at them like you did in the games.
It's kind of hard to get here, but this has been a fun day, and at least we didn't get softlocked, which is good because we're about to surf on over to the Seafoam Islands.
This is one place that we recommend to both Pokemon lovers and heathens alike, just because of the fact that there's all these beautiful waves, there's these really cool rocks you can climb on. It just really makes you feel like you're in a Pokemon game. Plus, it was listed on the wiki, so...
Also, the argument that Articuno lives in this cave is really strong. There's a dragon statue at the bottom, as well as a real Japanese legend that further down, the tunnel brings you to an ice cave connected to Mount Fuji. An ice cave much like the one in the game. The more time we spent here, though, the more I gotta say, if Gen 1 were my first game, there is no way in hell my dumbass would have found Articuno in these caves. Now, I already know that you Gen 1ers in the comments are about to say, back in my day, we didn't have TikTok or Instagram or video games on our phones. We navigated these cruel black and white shaded caves on pure instinct to catch Articuno. And to that I say, how does it feel to suffer for an irrelevant bird Pokemon? I, on the other hand, was raised by the grace of walkthrough YouTubers, which is probably why I love Enoshima, because this is perhaps Japan's most easily navigable island. Next.
We're well on the way of our Pokemon journey, which takes us to Cinnabar Island, aka Izu Oshima.
Now in the games, this location had a strange case of disappearing volcano, but the real-life location seems to most accurately resemble the Gen 7 edition with an active volcano and a lot more structures on the island.
According to the lore, in Gen 2 and 4, the volcano erupted, leaving nothing but the Pokemon Center. Poor Nurse Joy. But I've always wanted to know how her shifts work in the first place. Like, is there a new Nurse Joy every day? One of you guys can tell me in the comments. I don't have time to watch a video essay about it.
Since we weren't able to find a Pokemon that could learn surf, we decided to go for the super expensive boat ride instead. Here. All aboard the SS Anne.
SS Anne.
Let's go. It literally cost us like $150 to get there with both of us both ways, so.
In real life, it's a beautiful island with some very nice views, but I wouldn't describe it as a particularly convenient place to visit.
Another interesting fact about this location is it's actually the place used to lure and trap Godzilla in the 1984 film, The Return of Godzilla. So not only is it a Pokemon spot, but it's also known for saving all of Japan. Now, I wonder what Pokemon Godzilla would be. Dragon type? Normal type? Water type? I don't know.
Another fun fact about this island is that it's technically part of Tokyo, which means that some poor, unsuspecting English teacher probably thought they were going to live their big city dreams out here, and instead were taken on a 3-hour journey by ferry to a rural island.
Sound familiar?
Too familiar.
But much like in Gen 1, there's really not too much to do here, so we're going to move on to our 8th and final gym.
Hey, remember Viridian City from like 7 cities ago? Yeah, Pokemon used to have a lot of backtracking back in the day, given that the file size for Pokemon Red and Blue was only literally 373 kilobytes, so here we are.
This was one of the only gyms around, and while it's possible that Giovanni hangs out around here, men in suits scare me, so I don't think we'll stick around to find out. On to our final challenge of this Pokemon pilgrimage, finding the Indigo Plateau and Victory Road. We searched far and wide for a spot that checked all the boxes of what the Indigo Plateau, the finale of this Pokemon game, would be, and we discovered what we think is the perfect equivalent.
Mount Takao, which we picked for its western position, its relation to real-life Pallet Town and Pewter City, and the way it towers over the Kanto area.
Realistically, any of the mountains in this range could be part of the Indigo Plateau, but this one is notable for a few reasons. One, it's actually possible to climb, even if you're a skinny 12-year-old who left home to teach rats how to fight birds. 2, it borders Takao 599, which we've named the Pewter City Museum. 3, it fits the vibe check. I mean, look at this view. And 4, on a clearer day, you could even see Mount Silver over in the Johto region.
And if you don't like our picks, then feel free to write your detailed complaints in the comments, and our team will review them.
But anyway, Takao-san is one of those places we can happily recommend to people visiting Japan. Not only is it a lot easier to climb than Mount Fuji, believe me, we know, but also it embodies one of the best, most nostalgic game franchises of all time.
If the Elite Four were real, we would totally beat them first try. But since they're not, the only thing left to do is to take the magnet train to the next region.
So that's it. We went to every Pokemon location in real life.
So please like and subscribe, and if this video does well, then we'll go visit every Pokemon location in Johto in Japan's Kansai region.
This was kind of a dream project for us, so thanks for coming with us, and we hope you guys had as much fun as we did.